Hello and welcome to this episode of ESU 10's EdTech Tips and Tools on Personalized Professional Development. So what is personalized PD? I see this in two broad categories. One is district implementation of personalized PD and the other is individual implementation of this process. And so a district implementation would be that all teachers have the opportunity to personalize their own learning. But sometimes that isn't always the case, and districts aren't quite there yet in terms of that process, and so individual teachers will want to take this process on their own. So what might this look like? I like to think of it first as you need to set a goal. What does that look like? You might ask yourself, I've always wanted to do blank as an educator. Why is this important to me? How will I grow as an educator as a result of this? And how will my students or other stakeholders benefit? You may also think about taking a look at some other educational frameworks, such as the ISTE standards for teachers, admins, and coaches, maybe the iNACOL blended learning framework. There's also the TPAC and SAMR models, and of course there's the traditional instructional models of Danielson, Marzano, and the Nebraska teacher and principal frameworks. So once you have a goal in mind, it's time to make a plan. And so to achieve your goal, what will you need to start with? And then what's next? And what's next? This could be a linear process. You could use a flow chart. There's also storyboarding or maybe some other graphic organizer that you like to use, but just documenting this whole plan. You'll also want to consider who to contact, who's already done this or may already have expertise in this area. Do you already have resources within your district, at the ESU, maybe the state level? And then obviously there's tons and tons of things on the web. Next step in the process is to make it happen. Setting aside time is probably going to be the hardest part. During that time, I would recommend you have a process to reflect, learn some more, and then throughout the next week, implement a new strategy, process, or whatever it might be that your goal is. I'd also highly encourage you to record your journey using journaling, pictures, feedback, whatever that might look like. And then lastly, share your journey with other colleagues within the building, maybe your PLN, it could be your social media networks. I've also included a picture here on Trello. This is a great way to do this process and track it. And if you're not familiar with Trello, Crystal did a nice video on this the last episode. Lastly, I'd just like to say that we have no idea what jobs students are going to face in the future, and so just learning how to learn and you taking on that initiative to better yourself so that your students have the best opportunity is really what it's all about.